I am Slick Nick, your personal hairline hero, your red pill Chad dad. Let's get to work. I received this comment quite recently on a video I made called Praying to Not Go Bald is a Privilege, revealing how good your life actually is. We'll be talking more about that concept in other videos while I'm probably wearing this black t-shirt here. So here it is. The comment I want to focus on is our friend Baz, or Boz, however you pronounce B-A-Z. And he had this to say, quote, "Hey Nick, I have a similar diffuse thinning pattern as you, but I've always kept it buzzed. But I'd like to know at what length in clipper guard do you notice the thinning is at its worst, and which clipper guard does it start to look more acceptable? Cheers, mate." Which means he's not American. He's Australian or British or something, which so many of my viewers are. I get to keep up with the demographics of who's watching, and obviously a lot of my viewers are American like I am, but a lot are British, a lot are from India, and a lot are from Pakistan, Australia. Those are the ones I keep seeing the most of. So wherever you are in the world, finding my channel, my red pill channel of wisdom, I'm glad you found me. So yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's very relevant, and I've spent the past couple weeks as I've been experimenting, ultimately what I feel is going to be the best clipper guard for me. I think that's a very relevant question. So for me right now, how I feel in my heart right now, I've tried every clipper guard since I buzzed off my hair most recently. What you're seeing is the day after the zero guard right here. So I did use a guard, but it was the zero guard, the closest one that's on the Shortcut Pro. Which, by the way, I need to be better about putting the links so that you can buy that on Amazon. I noticed that since I shaved my head, 4 people have bought one through the links I've been putting in here. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm happy to make it easier for you to buy one if that's what you like. And it might actually be cheaper on Amazon anyway than going to Walmart. So especially, I need to be better about putting the links so you can buy it off of Amazon. With that being said, what I'm gonna say is what looks the worst. This is me personally speaking though. Guard 2, the number 2 guard, I'm not a fan of. Now that is a couple weeks ago when I first shaved off my actual hair, the crew cut hairstyle I had, I was using a number 2. But I didn't like it. Now I want to tell you exactly why. It wasn't the top that bothered me, it was the sides. And this has more to do with the way my hair grows. But my hair grows like this, straight out, all the way up to right here, just goes straight out. And then finally it'll start laying down up here. So what that meant was, knowing that it is a little bit thinner up here, if it's growing straight out here, it made it look thicker on the sides than the top, which it is. But my whole thing is being red pill is focusing on what you can control, not on what you can't. It's working with what you've already got and not going extremes to change that, but just doing the best version of you. So with that being said, I personally feel that number 2 is not the best suited for me because it accentuates what's already thicker and accentuates what's already thinner. So I tried number 1, I liked it. Number 1 is good, but I'd say number 1 for me is kind of on the outskirts of like, I'm gonna be giving myself a haircut every other day if I do that. For me, the zero is a little bit the no guard is a little bit overkill. For me, that sweet spot personally is the zero guard, in answering your question here, because I feel, and again, I just did it less than 24 hours ago, I think. So, but as you can see here, you still got the stubble, but look how consistent this looks. I mean, from the sides up to the top, to me, that just looks very consistent, and it seems to match the 3-day stubble guard that I use as well. So granted, yes, I need to get some more sun. I know that. And that's the problem with doing this haircut going into the fall, that the sun doesn't come out as much anymore. But yeah, for me personally, and maybe you'll find the same thing too, if you also are somewhere in the territory of Norwood 2, Norwood 2.5 like me, and you have some thinning on top that's not obvious, maybe you'll find that a zero guard, which I believe is a 2.5 millimeters, 1/16 of an inch, I would actually suggest trying that out and seeing how you feel about it. And I have observed for me on how fast my hair grows, it means that twice a week I'm giving myself a haircut, once in the weekend and then one mid-week, and also doing the same thing for my face. I do them the same day. So I'm giving myself a beard trim, really a beard stubble trim, and a haircut twice a week. and letting that be it. But I'd rather do that than, you know, have to get a haircut every 5 weeks and then pay for it, and then also have to keep my beard, my face shaven. I mean, I never actually shave it. I just use the clippers on the number 3-day setting so that it just really kind of shaves off the excess, but it's perpetual stubble. That is how I have found is going to be the best fit for me. That could change, but I think I'm at the end of this journey as far as figuring out what's going to be best for me. And I've had somebody ask me too, well, you know, what if you did go bald on top? Which again, if you're familiar with my theories, it's very unlikely that that's going to just happen one day, because I'm 40 years old. I'm past the age of 35, which is the main age in which most people who are going to go bald. But in theory, if I did start aggressively going bald on top and didn't have this anymore, I feel personally I would just stick either with the zero guard or the no guard, but I don't see myself ever getting a razor and shaving cream. To me, it's just like, what's the point? It's like, if I'm bald on top, I'm bald on top, and I can clean this up a little bit, but I don't want to go, to me, that crosses the line of not being low maintenance anymore. So that's where, that for me, I wouldn't be interested in that. I think when it comes down to it, if you are bald on top to that degree, as far as anyone else noticing in the outside world, in the free world, I seriously doubt they're gonna think, he should have shaved down to the skin. There shouldn't be any stubble, because it's established you're already bald on top. I think it's just fine. And to me, it goes back into being red pill. For me, my definition of red pill is also that you keep things low maintenance. Because if you're focusing on what you can control and not on what you can't, then you don't want to spend more time and energy and money or whatever to make things more complicated. You want to make them simpler. I mean, that's the thing. If you're balding, things are becoming simpler for you. You have less hair. So you formulate your actions and your routine and your identity according to that. So that would make the most sense. So yeah, that's my answer. I've thought about it for 8 minutes. Yeah, that's my answer. I feel for me, and if you're in a similar situation, the zero guard is just the best middle of the road. If you're closer to a Norwood 2 and you have no thinning, then you could probably easier get away with a number 1 or even a number 2. But again, a number 2 for me, it just doesn't look like I went far enough. Whereas the no guard may be like I almost went further than I needed to go. What are your thoughts? Where do they belong? Right here.